Guten Tag, people of the internet. My name is Rosie, and today I'm going to be reviewing We Were Liars by e.Lockhart. The way this review is going to be split up is the first few minutes are going to be spoiler free, and then the rest of it will contain spoilers. It's obviously up to you whether you spoil a book or not, but I think that the best way to go into this book is knowing very little about it at all. So I really don't recommend you ruin it for yourself, otherwise you won't be shocked by the ending. We Were Liars is a contemporary mystery romance young adult offering from e.Lockhart. I hadn't heard anything about this author before until I heard about this book. It's only been out a few weeks, but it's received a lot of attention and a lot of really good reviews and quite a lot of hype. Usually I don't read a book straight away if it's come out and it's surrounded by hype, but this was less than £2 on UK Kindle, so I really couldn't say no. If you know nothing about this book, I'll read you the description from Goodreads. It's fairly short and quite mysterious really. It doesn't really give you any clues about what happens. So here it is. A beautiful and distinguished family, a private island, a brilliant damaged girl, a passionate political boy. A group of 4 friends, the Liars, whose friendship turns destructive, a revolution, an accident, a secret, lies upon lies, true love, the truth. I started and finished this book yesterday in about 4 or 5 hours. It's 200 pages, so it's really not a long read, and it's quite an easy read. Pretty much as soon as I finished it, I tweeted about it, saying I was unsure about what I thought about it, and a couple of people, I think, were put off by that, and I kind of reassured them that it wasn't terrible, so I want to do the same for anybody else. I like the book, but I didn't love it as much as some people do. Some people think it's the best thing since sliced bread, but I think it was very good, but I just didn't love it. It's one of those books that you can't really talk about without ruining it, so I'm not going to say anything other than it was well written. It was written, the way it was written was slightly different. I don't really know how to describe it, but when you read it, you'll probably understand. Throughout the book, the suspense and mystery keeps building and building, which really keeps you hooked. Once I started this, I could not put it down. I was trying to figure out what was going on. I was trying to fit all of the pieces together and figure out what happened at the end before I really had enough information to do so. And the ending was a shock. I did not see it coming, but afterwards when I looked back, I thought, hold on, why did I not see that coming? It's so obvious now. I definitely think you should know nothing else about this book other than that, because the shock, I just don't think it would have the same effect. So if you haven't read it, in short, here's what I'm going to tell you. It's a really gripping book that packs a punch, and the author managed to fit so much into it. I think it's 212 pages, something like that. She fit a hell of a lot into that when you look back at it. I do recommend it, but if you haven't read, stop watching now. I'm going to give you a few seconds to back away from the screen, leave this page. Do not discover any more about this book if you're going to read it. Go on, go. I'm waiting. Okay, so I'm now going to start the part of the review that's going to have spoilers in it. If for some reason you haven't left yet and you haven't read it, go. Get out of here. Wow, that ending, I did not see it coming. I didn't know I couldn't really figure out at all what happened, but that they were dead. Wow, that one blew me away. I was sitting there thinking, oh damn, I just did not see it coming. But as I said, when I looked back at it, I thought, why was that not more obvious? You know, the 3 other characters, they didn't go to dinner with the rest of the family, and there wasn't an issue about that. The other characters wouldn't talk about it, and that made sense then when you looked at how they reacted to their grandmother's death. They don't want to talk about death, they don't want to talk about their feelings, they want to suffer in silence, they want to act normal. So it makes so much sense now, but the ending also threw up a few questions for me. We learn throughout the book that Katie's mother is very overprotective. She watches her while she sleeps. So I was wondering, why did she not care that Katie was off all day, either talking to ghosts or something in her own imagination? I'm not really sure what they were, which was a bit confusing. So why did she not care? Why did she not try to talk to her, or was that the point? Do they really, really not talk about their feelings or what happened, to the extent that her mother wasn't even going to bother asking her what was going on? Why was she spending so much time with people who are dead? I don't really get that. By the end of the book, I didn't really feel that I knew the main characters, especially Katie, any more than I did at the start of the book. but I think that was deliberate, so I'm not going to count that as a bad thing. We're taught throughout the book that the Sinclairs keep everything inside, they don't talk about their feelings. So even though she's talking about something private, personal, and tragic, she's still very guarded. And I think that was a deliberate move from the author, and it kind of works. It backs up what we know, that they don't do feelings at all. The Sinclair family were kind of what I've come to expect from a very posh, privileged family from what I've seen on TV. You know, they don't care about who they hurt, they just want the best, and they don't talk about feelings. They put on, stiff upper lip and pretend that everything is fine. And it kind of makes it realistic, because you can imagine that that's perhaps what some privileged families are like. Katie's granddad was horrible. He was a nasty piece of work, pitting his daughters against each other for their inheritance. His daughters weren't much better, mind you, because they were then getting their grandchildren to try and do their dirty work and try to appeal to their grandfather. So it was all very messed up, and I couldn't really understand why nobody tried to stand up to him, though we find that Katie kind of did. And why they did what they did at the end makes sense to me, but the logic, don't set fire to your exit route, for goodness sake. Ridiculous. Those dogs, I cannot forgive the dog death. I'm sorry, I cannot. Not cool with it at all. I couldn't really relate to any of the characters not being rich. I thought they were assholes, really. The only character I could relate to is Gat, because it's clear that he's an outsider in this family, but he can also see how skewed their view is on the rest of the world, which kind of confused me. Why did he want to spend every summer with these people when he knew and thought that the way they were behaving was wrong? I kind of get it when he was a kid, because he wouldn't have thought about that, but as he got older, why did he put up with that? I'm not really sure. But I did care for Gat. He was the only character I really connected with, and the feeling you got when Katie and Gat, they were trying to fix things and it just wasn't working out, and I kind of felt Katie's feelings, that she really wanted this to work out, but she could see it was all going downhill. So I did feel her feelings there. The ending was a real surprise. It came out of nowhere, but I'm not sure how I feel about it. Were they ghosts? Were they a figment of her imagination? I'm not really sure, and I don't know whether that question needs to be answered, to be honest. But I'm not sure that I'm entirely happy with it. It was a shock, and then I kind of felt like it was a bit of a kick in the face, kind of. And it was all a dream, that kind of thing. That being said, the rest of the book was really good. I can't argue with that, and I guess this book's going to keep me thinking, and it's going to stick with me for a while, so I can't really complain about that. So I kind of guess I have to give it 3.5, 4 stars out of 5, really. I did like it, I just didn't love it as much as a lot of other bloggers did. That's my review of We Were Liars by e.Lockhart. I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 5 to be generous, because the rest of the book I really did enjoy. I'm just not sure about the end. If you've read We Were Liars, let me know what you thought about it in the comments. Hopefully nobody will read that if they've not read the book yet, otherwise they're going to majorly spoil things for themselves. If you want to hear me ramble about books more, hit the subscribe button, or you can go to www.eatreadglam.com for my general ramblings about books, beauty, food, cats, and other random things that take my fancy. Thanks for watching, have a good day, bye!